Okay, so have you ever found yourself just, endlessly scrolling, flipping
Yeah.
between apps maybe, or just feeling this like low hum of restlessness,
Hmm.
even when you've got access to pretty much everything, your phone, internet, music, social media, it's all right there, but you still feel kind of tired, bored, unmotivated
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely. It's a really common feeling these days.
It really is, isn't it?
And Thibaut Maurice, in his book Dopamine Detox, he really helps us get why this happens. He argues pretty convincingly, I think, that we're living under this sort of invisible,
An addiction.
driven by dopamine. And it's not just the feel-good chemical we hear about. It's more like the brain's anticipation system. It's constantly pushing us to check our phones, pulls us away from, real work,
Right.
and just drives us towards that instant gratification.
Wow, that's a powerful idea, that our own brain chemistry is kind of subtly steering the ship. But, what if you could actually break free? Imagine being, genuinely more focused, feeling a deeper sense of calm, maybe more balanced day to day. That's really the promise we're digging into here, isn't it?
Exactly. Today, we're diving into Thibaut Maurice's Dopamine Detox. And look, it's not just about, stopping things cold turkey. It's more a strategic way to reclaim control over your mental energy.
Okay.
His whole goal is to guide you towards real peace, clarity, and finding a path back to connecting with yourself.
Oh, so Thibaut Maurice, he's a French author, right? Knows his stuff about mental development, self-awareness.
Yeah, over 20 books. A lot of them are about freeing people from what he calls mental slavery.
Mental slavery. And what's really interesting is that this whole mission comes from his own experience, right? He wasn't just theorizing.
Not at all. He battled the classic stuff, bad habits, getting totally sidetracked by Facebook, YouTube, Netflix, feeling that deep mental fatigue.
Been there.
Right. And he later realized this was an overdose of dopamine, as he puts it. His whole journey kicked off with this really powerful, almost uncomfortable question he asked himself. Is this the life I truly want?
That's a big one.
Huge. And it sparked this inner quest. He didn't just read a few articles. He dove deep into neuroscience habit formation. And crucially, he experimented on himself a lot.
Right. He walked the walk.
Totally. And he found this truth.
Yeah.
The more tangled up we get in those quick, easy pleasures, the harder it is to find, deep happiness, real focus, genuine peace.
And that journey led to this book. His transition, he says, from a closed mind to an open life.
Beautifully put.
So our mission today, it's really to explore how we can break free from that excessive dopamine pull in our modern lives, how we can get back that peace, that focus, that deep happiness we might have sort of lost along the way.
Think about it. Our world is just engineered for it, isn't it? Instant gratification, social media games, one-click shopping, fast food.
Everything now.
Right? They offer these super quick dopamine spikes, and that just prompts us to constantly seek the next bit of excitement. But chasing that stimulation all the time, it actually pushes us away from real calm, from real satisfaction. It leads to mental exhaustion, and it stops us from, reaching our true potential.
It's almost backward, isn't it? The more we chase the instant stuff, the less fulfilled we actually feel.
Exactly. And Thibaut's core message is actually pretty simple, but wow, transformative. By consciously stepping away from those instant pleasures, you can actually reset your whole system.
Reset. Okay.
Yeah. You can redirect your energy to what really matters. Start laying the groundwork for, what you really want in life. It's not just a physical break. It's mental, emotional, a recalibration.
A recalibration. I like that. Okay, so let's jump into his first big idea, the dopamine deception, the invisible trap.
Right. So we hear dopamine thrown around all the time. But Thibaut goes deeper. It's not just the feeling good after the reward. He highlights how powerful it is in anticipation of the reward. That little ding from a notification. It creates this huge expectation.
Okay.
And that's where the cycle, the addiction really starts. Our brain learns to crave the promise of the reward, maybe even more than the reward itself.
Wow. And this next bit, how our brain gets hooked on easy rewards. That really resonated. You see a notification, boom, dopamine. Watch a short, funny video, more dopamine. Grab a sweet snack, dopamine again. Scroll Instagram, click the next reel.
Yep.
And your brain just gradually gets totally conditioned. It craves these immediate, effortless hits.
And Thibaut explains the dopamine game is pretty simple. The more you get used to these easy hits, the less your brain actually wants to do hard work.
Right.
So if you find yourself struggling to read a book for even 10 minutes, or you feel restless trying to concentrate, or being without your phone feels like actual torture.
Yeah.
He says that's not just laziness, that's what he calls dopamine overdose, or even mind hijacking.
Mind hijacking.
Yeah. Think of it like this. Your brain gets so used to instant, easy hits that it actually turns down its own sensitivity.
Oh, wow.
It's like needing a bigger dose to feel anything, which makes stuff that needs effort or delayed gratification feel incredibly unappealing. Your mind wants to focus, maybe, but the chemical that's supposed to motivate you is now kind of controlling its preferences.
That's slightly terrifying that our own brain chemistry is running the show. So given that, what's Thibaut's first step, like the immediate action to start wrestling back control?
He suggests temporarily stepping away from all sources of instant dopamine.
All of them.
Well, the main ones. Social media, gaming, constantly checking your phone, maybe excessive eating, even continuous background music.
Okay.
The goal is to teach your mind to actually tolerate boredom. He says when you consciously learn to embrace boredom, your mind starts to regain its lost power.
Power for what?
For focus, for discipline, and for that deep sense of peace.
Okay, embrace boredom. It makes sense intellectually. But for someone really caught in that cycle, that sounds really hard, almost impossible at first. Does he talk about that initial struggle?
He absolutely does, and we'll definitely get more into that. But first, he suggests a really practical step.
Yeah.
Dedicate a whole day to being a low dopamine day.
A low dopamine day. What does that look like?
It means you intentionally stick to just 3 activities: writing, reading, and thinking.
That's it.
That's it. All the other usual distractions, phone off, no social media, no unnecessary chats, completely off limits for that day.
Wow. Okay, so this first lesson, the dopamine deception, what's the kind of core truth it reveals? Where are we really living if we're stuck in that?
Thibaut basically argues that this instant pleasure world we're often swimming in, it's not just fleeting, it's fundamentally kind of a fake world.
Fake world.
Yeah, one that actively hides our true selves from us. So the detox isn't just about stopping things, it's about peeling back that illusion to finally meet the real you.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, so if step 1 is recognizing this trap and starting to reclaim focus by embracing boredom, why are we so drawn to the easy hits anyway? What makes instant gratification so powerful?
That's exactly what he unpacks next. He calls it instant pleasure, a sweet poison.
Sweet poison.
He argues that, everything we do has a purpose, but when that purpose shrinks down to only seeking immediate happiness, we slowly, often without even realizing it, forget to live.
He uses an example, right? Arjun.
Yeah, the Arjun example is great. Wakes up, immediately checks the phone, WhatsApp, Instagram, some Reels, then maybe YouTube, a snack, more scrolling.
Telling himself just 10 minutes.
Exactly, and it always turns into 2 hours. In comes the guilt, right? But the next morning, same cycle. He knows it's wrong, but he feels like he can't stop.
Yeah, I think we've all had our Arjun moments, haven't we?
Absolutely. Thibaut says this happens because instant pleasure basically hacks our brain's reward system.
Hacks it. How?
Well, when everything's instant, the value of hard work, of patience, of that deep satisfaction you get from finishing something difficult,
Right.
it just diminishes.
Right. It feels less rewarding.
Precisely. And the effects are huge. You struggle to focus on deep stuff, you get bored super quickly, your patience level just tanks, and you're constantly looking for the next new thrill, just for a tiny bit of happiness. Thibaut calls this, quite vividly, the death of depth. We get clicking for new things, but we lose everything inside: focus, peace, balance.
And the hidden truth, he says, instant gratification never actually satisfies you, does it?
Never truly fulfills you. It gives you temporary relief, sure, but it always leaves this emptiness behind. It traps you in this loop. Desire, action, dopamine hit, temporary relief into renewed desire.
Stuck. So how do we break out? What can you actually do?
Okay, first step, awareness. Cultivate awareness. Every time you reach for your phone, just pause, ask yourself, am I grabbing this because I'm bored, or is this actually necessary right now?
Just that pause. Okay.
Oh, second, practice delaying pleasure. When that urge hits for scrolling, for a snack, whatever, just try to delay it. Even just 10 minutes. It sounds small, but it helps you recognize the impulse and start to gain control.
Delay by 10 minutes?
Okay.
I could try that. And third,
actively create what Thibaut calls hard pleasure habits.
hard pleasure. Like what?
Things that feel difficult at first, but bring deep, lasting satisfaction. Reading a challenging book, learning a new skill, meditating, journaling. that kind of thing.
It's that paradox again, isn't it? The instant happy stuff makes you unhappy long term, and the challenging stuff actually brings real satisfaction.
Exactly. And to really see this in action, he suggests creating a pleasure tracker.
A pleasure tracker.
Yeah, just jot down every time you scroll pointlessly, or eat out of habit, not hunger, or take some shortcut instead of engaging deeply. After just a few days, you'll probably get this startling picture of how much your mind is constantly chasing that immediate pleasure.
Wow, that could be eye-opening. So the takeaway here is that instant pleasure is like a sweet poison. Feels good initially, but hollows you out. And the detox is the cure.
Precisely, which leads us right into the heart of it. Boredom.
Ah, yes, boredom. The thing we usually try to escape at all costs.
Right. But the Epicurus flips that completely. He argues boredom isn't something to fear, it's actually a gate.
A gate to what?
A gateway to true focus, deeper creativity, and profound self-knowledge.
Okay, tell me more. He shares his own story here too, right?
He does. He talks about a time when he was just constantly surrounded, phone, Netflix, YouTube, every single day. And whenever he had a moment of idleness, boom, boredom hit him hard, made him feel like something was seriously wrong.
Yeah, that feeling.
So he decided to try something radical, which kind of speaks to your earlier question about the difficulty. He gave himself permission to be bored.
How? What did he actually do?
He literally just sat quietly, doing nothing. He admits it was incredibly hard at first. His mind was racing everywhere.
I bet.
But over time, things started to shift. His thoughts got clearer, his mind calmed down. And he had this realization. The problem wasn't boredom itself. It was his deeply ingrained habit of constantly escaping it.
It's the escape that's the issue.
Exactly. This mental practice of just sitting with boredom, he says, is the first step to seriously increasing your attention span. When you intentionally cut off the external noise, your brain naturally turns inward.
So it's not laziness, it's practice.
It's a mental practice, like a workout for your mind. Boredom connects you with your own thoughts, allows those hidden questions to bubble up, sparks actual creativity, and gradually leads you to a deeper clarity.
It really makes you think about childhood, doesn't it? Kids used to play for hours, alone, no screens. Their inner world was so rich.
Totally. And now many of us struggle to sit alone for even like 2 minutes because our minds are just wired for dopamine hits, not for inner peace.
So true. Okay, so practically, how do we invite this teacher, boredom, back into our lives? What are the steps?
Okay, first, try what he calls a 1-minute mindful boredom practice, which is actually 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes.
Yeah, spend 10 minutes every day just sitting quietly. No phone, no music, no notebook. Let your mind wander, sure, but gently bring your attention back to your breath when you notice it's gone off.
Just 10 minutes of quiet sitting.
Yeah.
Okay. Second.
Second, find a natural setting if you can. Under a tree, on a rooftop, in a garden, whatever. And just sit there. No stimulation, just observe what's happening outside and inside you.
Nature observation. Got it.
And third,
designate a no input hour. Pick 1 hour a day where you don't look at any screens, listen to anything, or read anything. Just be in your own company.
wow, an hour. That sounds intense, but maybe powerful. I actually tried something like this, just 15 minutes yesterday. No screens, no music. And honestly, first 5 minutes, I was practically squirming.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But by the end, there was this weird sense of clarity, almost like a quiet excitement. It really shows how even small steps can make a difference. That's a perfect example. What Thibaut really emphasizes here is when you learn the art of being bored, you conquer distractions. If you constantly avoid boredom, you actually distance yourself from yourself. And that often leads to feeling empty inside. Boredom isn't the enemy. It's a profound teacher. And when you listen to it, you learn to hear your own voice again, the one that gets drowned out by all the noise.
Maybe try a boredom walk.
Yeah, no phone, no music, and just ask yourself, why am I always running after these distractions?
That's a great challenge. Okay, building on that. Running after distractions. Let's talk about digital overstimulation, because that feels like a huge part of this. Have you noticed, like, your own attention span shrinking? Maybe down to less than 5 minutes sometimes?
Oh, definitely.
Or your mind wandering constantly when you try to read? Or finding yourself skipping videos after just a few seconds? Feeling restless even when you want peace?
Yeah, Thibaut says these aren't just random things, they're direct results of digital overstimulation.
Okay, what exactly is that?
It's when your brain is just constantly bombarded with small, rapid hits of dopamine. From notifications, social media feeds, those addictive YouTube shorts or reels, clickbait titles, endless scrolling.
The fire hose.
Exactly. Each tiny piece of info becomes an immediate reward, and your brain just screams, more, more, more. The result, you pick up your phone again and again, often without even knowing why, and you feel increasingly disconnected from your deeper self.
And the damage, it's pretty significant, right? It hits core parts of us.
Yeah, definitely. First, your attention span literally breaks down. You lose the ability to think deeply. Tasks that need patience, reading something complex, focusing on a big project, just thinking through a decision, they become incredibly hard, almost feel wrong.
Wow, okay. What else?
Second, you might get this. Emotional flatness. Too much dopamine can actually desensitize your brain. Small, everyday joys start to feel dull, like life's lost its color.
I've heard people describe that. And third?
Third, the comparison trap. It's insidious. Social media constantly pulls us into comparing our messy reality with other people's perfectly edited highlight reels. And it just makes us feel inadequate or inferior.
Ugh, yeah. The comparison trap is real. So the solution, it's pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah. You won't find depth if you're constantly chasing tiny digital rewards. Thibaut suggests trying a dopamine fast.
Like the low dopamine day, but focused on digital.
Exactly. Pick a day, commit to no social media, no YouTube, no Netflix. Instead, intentionally read a physical book. Go for a long walk outside, spend time journaling. This digital detox helps reset your brain's sensitivity.
Resetting again. Okay. What else?
Another really powerful strategy. Delay gratification. When something feels good or you get that itch for an instant digital hit, just don't indulge right away.
Wait.
Yeah, give it some time, some distance. Even just a few minutes can change your perspective. And the reward, if you still choose it, feels deeper, more lasting.
And I love his idea of monk mode moments.
Right. Just setting aside 2 or 3 specific times a day to be completely alone with yourself. No screens, no distractions, just quiet time.
Monk mode. I like it.
It's a powerful way to think about it, isn't it? We are kind of diminishing our own mental power with all this screen time, often without realizing the true cost. Have you ever really stopped and asked yourself, what did I actually feed my mind today?
That's a confronting question.
Try it. Maybe create a 1-hour no-screen block for yourself today. No phone, no videos, just observe, breathe, maybe jot down what distracts you most. See what comes up.
The key takeaway here seems to be that digital stimulation isn't bad in itself.
Not inherently, no.
But when it starts to rule your mind, then it becomes destructive. And that dopamine hunger, you don't satisfy it by feeding it more. You have to understand it and then gradually bring it back into balance.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And that leads us to a really fascinating layer Thibaut adds, moving beyond just habits. Shift your identity. You are what you believe you are.
Okay, identity. How does that fit in?
Well, he emphasizes that if you keep falling back into these dopamine-driven habits, it's often because, deep down, you actually see yourself as someone who does those things.
Like if you think I'm lazy or I just can't live without social media.
Precisely. And then you pick up your phone first thing. That's not just a random behavior anymore. It's become part of your accepted identity.
Wow. So habits reflect identity.
That's his argument. And until you subtly shift that core identity, real, lasting change is incredibly difficult.
Okay, so how do you shift your identity? What's the action?
First, consciously choose a new one. Ask yourself honestly, what kind of person do I want to be? If the answer is, say, a focused and calm person, then every action you take after that should ideally align with that chosen identity.
Okay, choose the identity first, then what?
Then understand that small habits are huge for this. They're not just about the action itself. They lead to that identity shift. Every time you manage 15 minutes without your phone, or you meditate, or you just sit through boredom, you're sending this powerful message to your brain. See, I am becoming the person who can control my mind. Each tiny win reinforces the new identity.
That's empowering. So a practical strategy.
Try this. The very next time you're about to slip into an old, unhelpful habit, just pause. Ask yourself, is this the behavior of the person I want to become?
Hold it up against the new identity.
Exactly. And if the answer is genuinely no, then stopping right there, that's the real victory. That's a vote for your new self. Maybe even write down, who do I want to become? And then today, just pick one small action that aligns with that. Just one. Slowly, consistently, it starts to become part of who you are.
One action today. Okay. Building on that, choosing who you want to be. Thibaut makes another really sharp point. When reward is easy, growth stops.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Have you ever noticed how the easiest things to get often bring the least lasting happiness?
Totally. Like fast food versus a meal you cook yourself.
Exactly. Social media likes, easy games, notifications. They give you that instant reward, sure. But deep down, he argues, they subtly weaken our mental muscles.
Weaken them.
Well, Thibaut explains that every time you opt for the easy reward, you're actually choosing not to do the hard but necessary stuff for growth. Your brain gets comfortable in this zone.
Comfort zone trap.
Right, where effort, focus, discipline, they start to feel weird, uncomfortable, almost alien.
And he experienced this himself during his detox, didn't he? Feeling bored and empty.
Yeah, he talks about that initial phase being consumed by boredom and emptiness. But in that emptiness, he had this huge realization. He'd just been chasing dopamine hits. Fleeting pleasure, not real, sustained growth or purpose.
Wow. So if easy rewards stop growth, how do we actually cultivate real growth? What's the path?
Okay, two main things here. First, consciously create distance from those easy rewards.
Yeah.
Every time your hand automatically reaches for the phone, pause. Ask, is this easy pleasure blocking my growth right now?
Interrupt the automatic pilot.
Okay.
Second,
Consciously choose hard rewards. Embrace activities that might feel challenging, maybe even a bit painful at first, but lead to genuine development.
like the hard pleasure habits again.
Exactly. Sitting with your thoughts,
Yeah.
reading something complex, learning a new skill. These are the actions that actually recharge your willpower and build resilience.
It comes down to that question again, doesn't it?
Yeah. Am I just chasing pleasure or am I chasing purpose? When rewards get too easy, asking that question is crucial. The distinction changes everything.
Okay, so here's a daily challenge for you, the listener. Pick one task today. Something that isn't necessarily fun, but you know is necessary for your growth or well-being. And then do it with complete focus, full attention. And tonight, before you sleep, just ask yourself, did I actually grow today?
Love that challenge. And that brings us perfectly to the final, really profound insight Thibaut offers. Your true reward lies within.
Within.
Think
Right.
about this. What happens inside you when everything goes quiet? No sound, no notifications, no screens, no external input at all. What's the feeling? If the immediate answer is restlessness, maybe unease, Thibaut suggests that's often the biggest sign you need a detox. Not just from dopamine, maybe, but from actually meeting yourself.
Meeting yourself. Wow. So the addiction isn't just to the happy hits.
Not entirely. He argues the real addiction is often the addiction to escaping what he calls the soul's silence.
The soul silence.
Yeah. He found when he first really detached from all the distractions, he finally encountered what he'd been successfully avoiding for years. His own inner voice.
The voice we drown out.
Exactly. It wasn't on Instagram or in likes or YouTube Reels. It was, and always had been, right there within him.
So how do we start to redefine reward then? How do we cultivate that deeper connection?
First, he says, actively choose silence, not dopamine. Spend just 10 minutes every day simply meeting yourself. No distractions. That silence, he believes, holds your deepest answers.
True silence, okay.
Second, consciously redefine what a reward is. It's no longer what's instant, fleeting, external. A true reward is what genuinely brings you closer to your authentic self.
That shifts everything. So the ultimate test.
The ultimate test is this. If everything external was suddenly stripped away, could you remain calm, maybe even content, just in your own company?
Oof. That's a tough question.
It is, and if the honest answer is no, or I'm not sure, then that's a powerful sign. It's time to call yourself back.
Call yourself back. So the daily practice.
Dedicate just 10 minutes today to yourself. Don't look at anything. Don't listen to anything. Just sit. Breathe.
Yeah.
Because that stillness, that quiet, that's where your true reward actually begins.
It really feels like what this whole journey with Thibaut's book shows is, well, it's simple but profound. You don't always need more dopamine. Sometimes what you really need is just to listen to yourself. A dopamine detox isn't just some trend. It's actually a deep process of calling your soul back home.
Beautifully said. So you've walked through these ideas now. Just take a moment, maybe even mentally right now, and reflect. Whose noise do you hear most clearly in your day-to-day life? Is it the constant chatter from your screen, from social media? Is it the quieter, emerging voice of your own mind?
Remember, maybe at the start, you felt like you were just chasing external pleasure all the time. But now, hopefully, you've started this incredibly powerful process of changing your identity.
Yeah.
You're becoming someone who actively chooses peace, someone who recognizes where the real reward lies. Because that prize isn't the fleeting dopamine hit anymore, is it? It's that cool, calming peace that comes from within.
And through exploring this, that feeling of discomfort, it doesn't have to be scary anymore. You can start to see it differently, understand it as the actual path.
The path to what?
To clarity, to genuine growth.
Yeah.
And ultimately, to self-mastery.
Okay, so here's one final thought for you to take away from this deep dive today. In a world that's just saturated with noise, absolutely filled with distractions, the person who consistently finds themselves in silence.